Reggie Showers, drag bike racer, needs two crew chiefs. One tunes his bike, one tunes his legs.
My legs, I think, are pretty cool. You know, they look like Terminator legs. You know, it's all carbon fiber. You know, it's got titanium parts, graphite. I can run, I can jump, I can climb trees, I can do anything that I want to do. Be like driving without
When he was 14, Reggie decided to investigate a railway yard near his Philadelphia home. While on top of one of the empty wagons, he came too close to an overhead power cable and was electrocuted. The 13,000 volts caused third-degree burns, and the damage to his legs was so severe that both were amputated below the knee. Today, the 39-year-old is known as the world's fastest amputee.
It's a 60-foot clock. By that point, I'm going 1.07 seconds, about 90 miles per hour. This is a 330-foot clock. It takes me 2.95 seconds to get here, and I'm in third gear by that time. Right now, we're at half track. This is the 660 mark. It takes me 4.5 seconds to get here, and I'm in fifth gear. We just passed the 1,000-foot clock. It takes me 6 seconds to get there. I'm in high gear. I'm headed towards the finish line. This is the finish line to the quarter mile. This is every drag racer's objective, to get here before his opponent. And of course, on my motorcycle, it'll be just a little bit faster.
He was one of the few, when I first started racing, that truly accepted me for who I am and didn't, you know, pass judgment on me before he actually got to know me. And that was one of the things that brought me to him to want to be his friend. And then when I realized or learned of his situation with his prosthetic legs, I was just amazed and hooked on him. I mean, he's a role model to me. He's definitely my hero and my all-time favorite racer ever.
Angel Savoy is a three-time world champion in the same pro stock bike class as Reggie. As with all drag racers, they compete in an acceleration contest over a quarter mile, and they're at the very pinnacle of their sport. In the past, we've told the stories of several amputee athletes on Transworld Sport. One was American Marlon Shirley, who broke the 100 meters Paralympic world record. Another was South African swimmer Natalie du Toit, who actually improved her personal best times after losing a leg. Their stories have been remarkable in their own right, but what makes Reggie's case different is that he is not competing in a separate class reserved for those with a disability. He races exclusively head-to-head against the very best in drag racing's most prestigious series.
He's won how many championships? 6 world
For George Bryce, Reggie's status as an amputee was irrelevant in his decision to become his crew chief.
And I didn't talk to him about the legs because I really didn't know my position or his. So I wouldn't have been interested if it wasn't possible to win, you know, because that's what I do it for. I do it to win. And I knew Reggie, like I said, for a decade, and I knew that he had the heart of a champion. But there was a few spokes missing in his wheel to complete the effort that it requires to win these races. And I knew that it was possible if we were able to get together.
Bryce is the most successful crew chief in the history of pro stock bike racing, with 6 world championships. He builds the engine for Reggie's bike, which is based on a Suzuki Hayabusa, touted as the world's fastest production motorcycle. With George's 1500cc engine and radical chassis modifications, this one will, 7 seconds after Reggie launches, reach 190 miles per hour at the finish line. The gear shifts are so rapid that Reggie, like all his rivals, changes gear via a button on the handlebar. This is the first year that Bryce has worked with Showers, and his unrivaled knowledge of just what it takes to win has made a critical difference. Before this season, he'd been unable to register his first event win. Then, in August at Indianapolis, the home of motorsport in America, Reggie put that right. First, he won the Clash, a contest reserved exclusively for the top racers in the series. Then, also at Indy, he won the US Nationals, the highlight of the racing calendar.
what are the odds that, you know, a guy like myself, a double amputee, I'm a disabled person by society's rules, but not by my own. But what are the odds that a person like myself can choose to win at Indy, the toughest race, the biggest race, the most prestigious race on the tour, and then to do it twice and double up and get a double up bonus? I mean, I need to start going to Vegas or something. They're playing a lottery, you know.
There's also another man whose contribution to Reggie's success has been vital. Tracy Slemker is the founder of the prosthetic design and manufacture company that sponsors Reggie's team. He chose to get behind Showers because he was the best possible advertisement for his product. Slemker's company uses lasers to scan the residual limbs of clients and from that make molds that produce perfectly fitting prosthetic sockets. The entire process can be completed in less than an hour. The company's innovation has also been turned towards giving Reggie every possible advantage during a race.
What we soon found out is that we needed to develop a limb specifically for racing. As you can see, the limb is much shorter. The race limb is much shorter. That's so he can snap his legs back quickly to the peg to stabilize his body during racing. Second of all, we reduced the size of the foot, and that was to keep the foot out of the wind. Aerodynamics is very important to him to achieve the speeds that he needs to. This prosthesis has been lightened to where we really can't use it for everyday use. It's very limited. He can only wear it for about an hour or so because structurally it would not be able to take the same thing that his everyday limb takes.
With his race legs, Reggie's been able to compete as an equal, and by so doing, he adds to the broad appeal of the National Hot Rod Association, drag racing's governing body. Whereas ethnic minorities are notable by their absence in most forms of motorsport, the NHRA has several in its ranks. And as we saw last year when we met Shirley Muldowney, one of the sport's biggest stars, the NHRA also enables women to compete directly against men and beat them. For the head of racing operations, it's a happy situation.
You know, we have African Americans, we have Hispanics, we have male, we have female, we have a cross-section of everybody, and we don't discriminate against anybody. The rules don't. The structure of the competition that we have is open there for anybody of any sex or gender or race to be a champion and to be competitive.
But while the promise of that spectacle draws the fans here to Maple Grove Raceway in Pennsylvania, there won't be any real racing this weekend. With the bikes generating in excess of 300 brake horsepower and the cars far more, racing on a wet track is just too dangerous. For the other competitors, not being able to race is a difficult situation. But for Reggie, in comparison to the difficulties he's faced, it's just a small bump in the road. He says his motivation is to show anyone who watches him just what is possible if you're truly determined.
I don't have limitations anymore. I can do whatever it is that I set my mind to. So in that aspect, I feel as though I'm free. I feel as though I'm not handicapped, like a lot of quote-unquote able-bodied people are. They have self-imposed handicaps. I don't have any. I just have challenges.
The challenge now is to claim the overall world title. After we met him, he won again in Memphis, and currently he's fourth in the standings. With only 2 rounds left, he's a long shot for the title. Then again, given his journey just to reach the starting line in the world's fastest motorsport, who's going to bet against Reggie Showers when the lights go green?